As trade talks with the United States continue, India is hoping for a possible breakthrough very soon, but India's stance remains firm. Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal has made it clear that India will not sign any trade deal with a gun pointed to our head. Amid tensions over US sanctions on Russian oil, Goyal has questioned why India is being singled out when countries like the UK and Germany have been exempted from third country penalties. The Union Minister has stressed that India seeks a fair and equitable agreement, adding that trade deals must be built on trust, not under pressure. Meanwhile, sources have told India Today that a trade deal could be very near, with both sides converging on key issues and no new hurdles emerging.
We are talking to the United States, of course, but we don't do deals in a hurry, and we don't do deals with deadlines or with a gun on our head. We've accepted if there's a tariff on us, there is a tariff on us. We're looking how to overcome that. We're looking at newer markets. We're looking at a stronger demand impetus within the Indian economy.
The Trump administration's new sanctions on Russian oil mark the toughest US move yet against Moscow's energy sector. Under the new rules, American banks and firms are banned from doing business with Russia's two biggest oil companies, Rosneft and Lukoil. There are also secondary penalties for foreign buyers or shippers using US dollars or American technology, with fines that can reach up to $1 million per violation.
Today is a very big day in terms of what we're doing. Look, these are tremendous sanctions. These are very big. Those are against their two big oil companies, and we hope that they won't be on for long. We hope that the war will be settled. We just answered having to do with the various forms of missiles and everything else that we're looking at, but we don't think that's going to be necessary.
In a major development with implications for India's crude oil supply, India's imports of Russian crude oil are expected to fall to nearly zero by the end of 2025, following the latest US sanctions on Russian energy giants Rosneft and Lukoil. The move marks the most significant realignment in India's energy sourcing in recent years, driven by Washington's tightening of economic measures against Moscow. Reliance Industries Limited, India's leading private sector refiner and previously the largest importer of Russian crude, had signed a landmark long-term contract with Rosneft in December 2024 to import up to 500,000 barrels daily. A deal valued at billions of dollars and central to India's post-pandemic energy strategy. But now, with the US embargo intensifying, Reliance is expected to suspend all imports under that pact, actively seeking replacements across Saudi Arabia, Iraq, Qatar, and US West Texas intermediate grades, according to news reports.
I love the people of India, and we're working on some great deals between our countries. I spoke to the Prime Minister Modi today, as I mentioned before, and we just have a very good relationship. And he's not going to buy much oil from Russia. He wants to see that war end as much as I do. He wants to see the war end with Russia, Ukraine. And as you know, they're not going to be buying too much oil. So they've cut it way back, and they're continuing to cut it way back.
The US sanctions announced in October 2025 target key Russian firms, Rosneft, Lukoil, and their affiliates, blocking access to US dollar financing, payment channels, and shipping routes. These measures have made it extremely challenging for Indian companies to deal directly with sanctioned entities, effectively cutting off the flow of Russian oil. India's dependence on Russian crude had previously ranged as high as 39% in mid-2024, accounting for over 1.7 million barrels per day. Industry data now indicates a sharp decline, with estimates suggesting Russian flows will diminish to below 5% of total imports by December, potentially approaching near zero in early 2026. India's refiners are now actively replacing Russian crude with volumes from the Middle East, the US, Brazil, and West Africa. This diversification has helped sustain domestic fuel supply, with retail petrol and diesel prices remaining stable at around 100 rupees per litre. Energy experts warn that Russian supply could nearly cease entirely if sanctions tighten further or if Moscow's oil export pipelines are fully blockaded. Nevertheless, India's strategic diversification, rapid sourcing adjustments, and flexible contracting practices aim to mitigate supply disruptions and maintain energy security. From Reliance's efforts to diversify supplies to government policies steering away from Russian dependence, India is now navigating a significantly altered energy landscape. One that prioritizes resilience, diversification, and compliance.